Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be talking about taxes. Tax day is in April, so they're due pretty soon. So I just thought I'd make a video about taxes because I know when I was younger I thought taxes were so scary and I didn't really understand them, and I thought that they were the epitome of adulthood. So now that I'm older and have a job and I have successfully filed my taxes this year, I think maybe I can, answer some questions and make it a little less scary. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it because I'm going to try and fit a lot into it. Just a disclaimer though, I'm young, I'm single, I'm not married, I don't have kids or dependents or anything, and I only have one job, or kind of two, but it's with the same company, so I don't have like separate W-2s. So this is just from my perspective. I will try and cover a lot of bases, but I'm assuming since you're watching this video you are in a similar position to me, so that's just the perspective that I have. So hopping right into it. What are taxes? And meh, I don't know what that noise was. So when you get a job, you fill out a W-4 form, basically explaining how you want your taxes to be taken out of your paycheck. So every pay period or every time you get a check, some of that is taken out and put in different places. Now, that side of things I don't know a lot. I mean, taxes I know pays for public services like parks and building of bridges and roads and that sort of thing, and other things like military and stuff like that. But in terms of the breakdown, I'm not your girl to go to. Sorry, I just don't know a lot about it. But I do know that it is taken out. So when you fill out this W-4 form, you are going to choose how much is taken out. I would recommend taking out or picking the option of taking out like the most that that you can take out. I know it's confusing, bear with me. But that way, when you do file your taxes, you'll get returns back instead of realizing that you have more to pay, like you're short some, so you have to give away some money. Instead, it's like you're getting that money back because you gave too much. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So when you fill out your W-4 form, you're going to choose the option to take out as much as they want, like, take out the maximum. So you get that return. So that's the W-4. So, you're working at your job, you get paychecks, you see that taxes are getting taken out, blah, blah, blah. Then the new year comes around and your employer should give you a W-2 form. Your W-2 form is very important. It has all your information, your yearly wages, how much taxes were taken out, stuff like that. And you are going to use that form to file your taxes. Now, there are two types of taxes. There's federal tax and there's state tax. If you live in a state that requires you to file for state taxes, you're going to do both. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think some states don't have state tax, in which case I don't think you have to worry about this. I live in California, so we do have a state tax, so I have to file for both. So, now that you have your W-2 form and you're ready to file your taxes, you are going to need the federal tax form, which is usually the 1050 form, so 1050, or the Easy 1050 form, with a capital E and a capital Z. Easy. Play on words, I think, a little bit. If you're like me and you only have one job, you're single, not married, no kids, no dependents, there are certain requirements. You would use the Easy 1050 form. Actually don't know a lot of the differences between the two because I've only ever used the Easy 1050. I think the 1050 is for someone with a more complicated situation. Again, please, if this is the only video you're watching about taxes, please do your own research. And also I found with researching and doing my own taxes, the IRS actually has a lot of information out there online, and they're there to help you and they're there to make it easier for you to file your taxes because they want you to file your taxes. So if you have any questions, that website is a great resource. But we'll get into resources a bit later. So if you're like me or in a similar situation, you would use the Easy 1050, and there are also other forms, I believe, for the 1050 that are for different situations as well, but you will use that form. And it's honestly, in terms of the forms, it's very self-explanatory. And again, if you look up like how to fill out a 1050 form, they're gonna have information out there. They're gonna have step-by-step how to fill it out. It's pretty self-explanatory though. So don't be scared. Okay, now going on to state taxes. So, sorry, I'm gonna take off my slippers because they're making like a little noise when I move around. Now is the state income tax. So you would look up, this is what I did. I basically looked up California state income tax form, and for me personally, that is form 540, I believe. Yeah, 540. But usually what'll happen is you'll find like a PDF, like for this past tax year, it was 2017. So 2017 California state income tax form 540, and it was like a PDF that you could just print out and fill out, or download and type. So if you live in California, that's the one that you're going to use. But if you live in another state and you need that income tax form, just look up your state and the income tax form and it'll be online. So then that is the form. That form I found was a little more complicated, and that's actually why I chose not to do it all by myself. But I will get into that like in a minute. It just had a lot of confusing wording that I didn't really understand, and I want to make sure that I did it correctly. But if you look up, there are resources again online that will help you fill those out. If you look up how to fill out the California state income tax form or whatever state you live in, there are resources to help you fill those forms out. And there are like instructions on how to fill them out. I just want to make sure that I did it right. So moving on to resources you can use to help you do your taxes. I personally went through TurboTax. Actually, TurboTax was having a like discount or a sale period, so I did my taxes for free through them, and I made sure that I knew what I was doing and I made sure that everything was correct. But I did look at the very end when they had me review all the information on the forms, and I realized that I probably could have gotten away with doing the California state income tax form all by myself. I started doing it by myself before I chose to go through TurboTax, and I like compared information, and it was pretty much the same. So I feel like I could have done it if I just went through the instructions. But if you want help on it, there are like online resources that you can use, like TurboTax, and it's basically doing it yourself but with a little help. Then there are places that you can go, like H&R Block, I believe, and actual like, what would they be considered? But they're like accountant help, like assistants and things like that. Or you can go down the road of getting just an accountant that is, private practice, whatever. I would suggest if you are in a more complicated situation, if you're self-employed, if you have multiple jobs, if you, did a lot of charity work, so you have some write-offs that you could use, if you have, dependents or things like that, I would suggest maybe going to like H&R Block or getting an accountant and not doing it so much yourself, just to be sure that you are filing everything correctly and you get your maximum return. But if, again, you're like me and maybe you don't want to do it all alone, but you want a little help to guide you, TurboTax or a website like that would be a good option for you. I think I pretty much covered everything that I set out to cover. Let me just double check my notes to make sure. Yeah, word of advice though, just, if you are filing your taxes, and from my personal experience. So basically what happened is I just filed my 2017 taxes, but the year before that, my 2016 taxes, my dad actually filed for me because I was just confused and didn't know how. But I did find that when I was filing my 2017 taxes, I needed those forms from 2016, and I didn't have them because I think he did it by mail and he didn't make copies or whatever. So if you either have had someone do them for you before, like a parent, that's pretty common, I would get that information from them, or like make sure that they made copies or whatever. And if they didn't, all is not lost. You can go to the IRS website, this is what I did personally, and you can request those forms and they'll send them to you. They'll either send them to you by email or by mail, and then you have them and you can file your taxes perfect. So that is something I would recommend. That's just what happened to me with TurboTax. They asked for my 2016 forms and I didn't have them, so that's what I had to do. So if you have had someone file your taxes, make sure you get those forms and just, you know, file them somewhere really safe and just keep those documents because they're pretty important. Oh, also, one last thing, sorry. If you have the option of going right into your bank account, I would suggest that, just so you, as soon as it gets returned, it goes right into your bank account. It's so nice. It's such a nice surprise to just see in your bank account that you got like an extra $100, you know? So I would suggest that so you don't have to wait for a check, you know? So yeah, just wire it right to your bank account and you're good to go. So I hope this helped you guys. Like I said, I know that I was pretty nervous about it before, but now that I'm on the other side, I realized that it wasn't that scary and it was pretty easy. So I hope this helped you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Good luck with those tax returns. I hope you guys get the maximum tax return. So good luck with filing your taxes. I know you can do it. I hope I answered all the questions that you have. Keep researching. The IRS website is a great one, and there are a bunch of like random websites that have a bunch of information. But yeah, it's not as scary as you may think. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye guys.